evangelical candidate. We always know there's a strong evangelical candidate. It's not Huckabee this time. It's not Santorum. It's, you know, it is, look at the rest of that field. Who are evangelicals more likely to gravitate to? Seen it in the polling. So I think Carson has now basically become that candidate, even though he's not as pure of an evangelical candidate as we've seen in the past, when you think about a Santorum or a Huckabee or a Pat Robertson. But I think when you look at where this field is right now, that's the part of the party he's strongest with. And, you know, that's where he is. Now, he's got to figure out how to grow beyond that. But right now, I feel like I put him in the evangelical column.
Jim Vandehei, first of all, would like to ask you to wake up. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, so Jim, off of what Chuck has been talking about,
and tan too.
Yeah,
look at
he's been in the tanning bed. Too.
Well, he's had a lot of time. Yeah, we have him all over NBC News.
But off of the talk about Ben Carson, the evangelical candidate, and Donald Trump, who's out there every day saying what he says, what's your sense? What are your people's sense at Politico of what they say, how they behave, how they act, and the reaction to them? Does that rub off on the field itself as we head toward a fall election next year? Is there any danger, lethal danger potentially, to the Republican field because of what is happening with Carson and Trump?
I think there's a couple schools of thought. I love the way that Chuck looks at it, that basically there's going to be a Trump candidate and there's going to be somebody else. I don't think Donald Trump's going to be the nominee. I think he has a ceiling and he has a floor. And you have to look at it when you think about why is Carly Fiorina moving or Ben Carson, because 50% of the party wants somebody who's not the establishment. So I think those numbers are just going to they're going to trade space for a while. And you have to take a look at the Marco Rubios of the world, who I agree with Chuck is probably best positioned to be the anti-Donald Trump candidate. Look at what Scott Walker said on that call yesterday. You're going to see more and more establishment figures, more and more establishment money line up behind somebody who is that alternative. And I think the reason is worried about the effect that Donald Trump has. Look at that interview that you guys did earlier this morning where when KDK is trying to talk about the shrill comment that he made about Hillary Clinton. And then he talks about Marco Rubio, about, oh, look at how much water he drinks, and look how sweaty he is. Who cares about how sweaty he is? That's not what people are looking for. They're looking for a candidate who can talk about all the issues you guys were talking about earlier. So that's the fun debate to watch.
You say, who cares? I mean, but KDK, he talks about Jeb being low energy.
Right.
It has driven Jeb Bush crazy.